Welcome to AlphaCars. My name is Dmitry, and I'm here today with Darrell, our motorcycle specialist.
Hi, everybody.
I know it was a challenging year for Ural factory because they had to move the factory to another country.
They did a very, very amazing thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was unreal at what they were able to pull off this year.
Yes, yeah. And they did it, and they're producing bikes, and we actually have 3 bikes outside. We're going to share with you some details. There are 2 bikes that Ian reviewed for us, and there's 1 bike where we're going to do with Darrell, so we're going to show you that. And then we have a nice selection of bikes right here at other locations. We have 4 locations, so check out our website to learn all the details. And then the stories we hear from you, our customers, on how you ride and how you use Urals are absolutely amazing, and the images we get, the videos we get. And I know, Darrell, you talk to a lot of people, so why do you think there is such an attraction for this motorcycle, for the Ural motorcycle?
Well, it is different than a regular motorcycle, and not in a bad way, because there's a lot more versatility to a sidecar rig. You're able to go places that you can't go on a motorcycle, or I wouldn't say can't, but you have to be very, very skilled and have the right bike to do so. But it allows a person to be able to travel and to explore areas they normally wouldn't be able to. Yeah. And it also allows them to be able to take family members, pets, and along with them to enjoy it with them as well. Because that's a lot of things with a motorcycle is you really don't have very much passenger room, and you end up doing a lot of stuff by yourself. This allows you to bring your whole family with you.
That's true. So you can have one extra passenger in the sidecar, in the comfort of the real seat, fully relaxed, with his or her own view of the road. They can certainly have a little pet right there with them. So it's incredible. And yeah, you can get into some places.
And that's why the bike that you'll see shortly, the garnet red one, that's specifically why they bought that motorcycle. This unit you'll see is sold. Yeah. Sold to a family, husband, wife, and son. They originally had bought a couple of scooters, but they were riding their son on the back of one of them, and it just didn't work out. So their idea, they're buying the sidecar rig. They put dad in the front, mom in the back, son in a sidecar. Everybody's there to enjoy everywhere they go together, and they're just excited about being able to do this together.
Oh, that is just so exciting for us to be kind of a part of it. But there's so many reasons we've had businesses that would buy Ural motorcycle, because it just happens to be people's magnet. If you have a Ural and you just park, you slow down, or if you stop, you're at the gas station, you're definitely going to have people approaching you, and most often with a smile, like, what's this? Where did you get it? Is it old? Is it new? So there are all kinds of like a conversation opening questions that depending on your personality, but if you want to connect with people, this is a great way to connect with strangers.
Yeah, people look online and they see the Ural delay factor.
UDF.
Ural
delay factor,
and
that's right.
They kind of chuckle because they think it's a marketing tool or whatever until they own the motorcycle, and then they find out it's real. They're so much more approachable than a motorcycle. I mean, people will just come up to you that don't even ride and are very interested in what you're doing. They want to see the rig. And like you said, they want to know how old it is. They want to know all about it. And they just, all kinds of people. It's just such a, like you said, conversation starter.
Yeah, and I've had some bikes that I've sold. I've had people that own more than one, like small shops, convenience stores, pizzeria shops, little restaurants, cafes. Of course, they're motorcycle riders. The main reason they bought that bike was for them to enjoy it. But they kind of heard about it, and they certainly later confirmed that just by having that motorcycle in front of that little business generates smiles, generates inquiries, generates more business. We've had a company that purchased fully outfitted, fully rigged motorcycle to go, their line of business was exploring land and doing testing. So they tried Jeeps, they tried Land Rovers, they tried old Toyota
Or Land Cruisers.
Land Cruisers. They can only go that far, but they needed to go a little further. And they realized they can do it with Ural. They're doing it. So that was a sensible business purchase. And of course, they're having fun while doing it.
And it's a great place to advertise too, side of the sidecar.
Yes.
So
yeah. And it's for those that have ridden regular motorcycles for years, this is an interesting motorcycle because it is challenging, like Darrell said, in a good way. It is different. You don't lean the bike. So for those that ridden bikes for many years, I don't know, when did you ride your first sidecar motorcycle?
Oh, God, it's probably 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
And prior to that, how long have you ridden regular motorcycles with two wheels on the ground?
Before that, 35, 40 years.
So your combined riding experience, just so we know.
About 50 years.
Okay, so then when you've gotten onto the sidecar, what do you even remember which one was it?
My first impression, I mean, the first sidecar rig I rode was someone that installed one on an Airhead BMW. And I remember riding it going, oh, it was different.
Yeah.
And in the case of what we do run into quite often when a sidecar is installed on a bike not properly set up for it, it offers added challenges, shall we say.
Absolutely. So that brings us to another awesome point about Ural motorcycles. They are not only purpose-built to carry a sidecar, they're purpose-engineered to have the sidecar.
Right, that's the only way to truly operate one safely is with the sidecar.
Yes, we've seen it. We've traded awesome-looking bikes. Remember that Harley with all kinds of little hanging things, and it was kind of like slate green color. It was an incredibly attractive bike, and someone spent like close to $40,000 on that setup, and they already had the bike. And they end up not riding it. They enjoyed the ownership, but they've never ridden it for real because for them it was physically challenging. And I remember taking that bike out. It was like, wow, oh my God, this thing is awesome. But as soon as you take it on the road, it's just all about muscle. And I definitely sensed that 2 miles down the road. For me, it was already kind of like stressful.
Yeah, every time I talk to somebody that's ridden a non-Ural sidecar rig, it's always, I was talking to a guy this weekend, and he was just, as soon as you get up to speed, you start fighting it. And you're always fighting against the front end because it's just not designed to do that.
The Urals are absolutely amazing. It is unbelievable, but under normal, like steady speed cruising condition, I'm not suggesting that you should do that, but you should always have your hands on the steering bar. But it feels like you have very little to no effort. It's almost like the bike is going on its own. So if you just almost like let it go, don't do that. But if you did, it feels like the bike is just going to go absolutely straight.
Very little rider input on a nice flat level road.
Yeah.
Very little.
It's amazing how they're engineered. And of course, with the newer generation, with their hydraulic steering dampers, how they just phenomenally tuned and react to the road conditions. So definitely, we have a lot of videos on how to set that up and how to do that. I do remember, this was a few years ago, but we had one of our delivery drivers. He was, I forget if it was Waste Oil or some other, a truck driver. And he saw that we have Ural motorcycles, and he's never seen them before. And he's like, oh, can I see one? So I showed him, and while I think it was a Waste Oil, they were pumping it out, and he had a couple minutes. So I said, yeah, take one around the building. And he's like, really? I said, yeah, go ahead. So he took it around the building, and I could tell he was like a very strange reaction. And I said, so what do you think? And he was like speechless for definitely a little bit of time. And then he's like, I can't believe this. I said, what's up? So he has, at the time, he had a Harley, I think it was a Sportster with a sidecar. You can imagine.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He's been riding it for 10 years.
Oh, and then he gets on a Ural, and it's like his eyes just open up.
He got on the Ural. He could not believe it. He ended up buying that bike. He's actually a local customer. He had it for a while. This was an older one, carbureted one. He could not believe it. And he didn't commit to anything. He would just, I had no idea. But a week later, he showed up here with the family. They took one around the building. He ended up buying it. And I know he had it for years because he's local and we've seen him. But that reaction went a long way for me to understand, and I want to share it with viewers that are considering putting sidecars on motorcycles. Why? Tell us, why should they not do it?
If you want a sidecar rig and you want to have safety and you want ease of operation and handle properly, Ural's the only way to go because they're the only company that makes a true sidecar rig. Anything else is a compromise. And sometimes those compromises can be very dangerous, as a lot of people that have tried it have found out.
Yeah.
At best, it doesn't handle properly, it doesn't track properly. So, people may say you can do it, but the end result is usually not what you expect it's going to be.
And that comes from an expert, because Darrell, believe me, I've seen some projects that Darrell was a part of, or projects that he has completed start to finish. I'm sure he's done many that I haven't seen, but what I know, he is the expert, and he's a big motorcycle enthusiast, BMW enthusiast, and he's seen it all. He helped a lot of people to add sidecars to their bikes, to make corrections to the ones that they already tried. They've been to different shops, and I know we've seen them here, and with your guidance, we've got the best out of them, but it was still far from what the Ural
Still
offers.
not like a Ural.
And Ural does have a reverse gear, a real mechanical gear like you have in your car. You put your car in reverse, you can go for miles. It depends just on your body durability. The same with Ural. You can put in reverse and you can keep going. It's not like electric reverse on
BMW.
On BMW
Yep.
or some, I think Hondas.
Honda, yeah.
Yes.
I know BMW, we had that K12 rig.
Yeah.
And it was all professionally done, and it wasn't bad, but it still just...
Oh, that bike, I couldn't take it around the building.
It was
so exciting in the way that I got scared.